Hey guys, nice to meet you all. Jacob Phillips from Perennial. Before this, I was at Polychain. I led governance there, and then I was an investor there. The rest of the Perennial team comes from Coinbase, Mycelium, Gearbox, and more. We have a great group of investors, some of the best in the space. And so you'll notice on the first slide, it says that Perennial is an actually DeFi native derivatives primitive. Everybody, this is kind of like, these are all buzzwords in crypto and everyone likes to claim them, but nobody actually builds their protocol like it. Perennial is sort of one of the first to actually do this, we think. Perennial originally was built to be a developer product. That was the original use case in mind. Of course, to do that, you have to bootstrap an ecosystem, and that usually requires leaning into things like becoming a degen trading protocol or leaning into other use cases. But what does it mean to be a modular DeFi primitive? It starts with building a hyper-efficient core and then layering the stack from there. So rather than baking everything into one product, you sort of separate it into its core components that you can optimize individually. One of the ways we do that is we allow for markets to be fully customizable. So markets themselves are primitives. You can sort of customize all the parameters in them. You can optimize them for different like specific markets or use cases. And people in V1, Perennial actually had permissionless market creation. V2, we locked that down a little bit, but we're still working directly with partners to come in and like very specifically optimize the markets that they want to create. All of Perennial's infrastructure, our UI, our vaults, and our liquidity infrastructure is sort of white labeled. So people are using it as UIs or wallets who are like, hey, I want to add perps, or I want to plug into perp liquidity really quickly. They build on Perennial. And then probably most important to all of this is like, you can sort of do this stuff in theory, but at the end of the day, the economic relationship of all the partners in the ecosystem is really what, either allows it to live or die. And Perennial's built with that in mind. And the one other way that we're sort of like a primitive is that Perennial is entirely Oracle agnostic. So we have Pyth integration built out, Chainlink at audit right now. We have a custom Oracle integration with an NFT provider that we'll talk about here in a sec. So this is all of that in context. So on the left right here, you see this is everything into one. UI, the core protocol, and vaults. There's only one way to do everything, and it's like you work with this one sort of, one specific stack. And then on the other side, when it pops back up, you'll see that Perennial supports like a wide range of use cases. So we have Quenta building on us, Cryptex is another UI, Buffer is another UI. You could have interfaces launching a UI for this, people launching perps directly within wallets. And then on the liquidity side, you have like, you have simple vaults that we've built. Pro market makers can specifically choose which markets they want to go in and go up to 50x leverage. You have like delta neutral market making vaults. Because all of these pieces of the stack are broken out into individual pieces, you can support all of these use cases. Here you have 1x leverage vault. Here you have 15 different ways you can participate in the protocol. And then also it's like this whole ecosystem is aligned through economics. Really quick, this is kind of where it's at. So like in the market parameter section, you basically can like support oracles or the risk manager or some of these other things. Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep moving. Okay, super quick. The way that Perennial actually works is longs and shorts are natively netted, meaning the maker portion, the LPs only have to cover the net. So what this really means is that when markets are balanced, we use like a funding rate and price impact to do this quite succinctly. You end up with massive capital efficiency benefits. So most protocol, you want $1 of OI, you need $1 of TVL. In Perennial, this scales to like 5 or 10 without leverage. And then with maker leverage, you can get massive gains. And so just to touch on two of the most exciting things I think happening at Perennial right now. One is because we're Oracle agnostic, it means that you see all these like sort of application-specific perps popping up, perps for NFTs, perps for real estate, perps for whatever. Perennial can support all of those. So we just partnered with Asteria, who's an NFT Oracle provider, and they're working with us to launch NFT collection-based perps. So that's pretty exciting. And then just announced today, Quenta, who traditionally has been built on synthetics and optimism, is now moving over to Arbitrum, building exclusively on Perennial to start. So we're pretty pumped about this. Quenta has a huge user base, some of the most degen traders in the space, I think. They're going to join the Perennial ecosystem and help us kind of take things to the next level. And that's pretty much it. Perennial.finance. I'm Jacob Phillips on Twitter, Jacob P. Phillips. And I think that's about it. Thanks, guys.